Hi, I'm Chef Alicia Perez with bestbitesforever.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make French toast with a homemade strawberry sauce. So the first thing that we're going to do is get our French toast batter ready. Here I have 4 eggs, which I'm just going to kind of mash up and blend together a little bit. I'm adding to that about a teaspoon of Splenda in this case, but you can also use regular sugar. And to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla along with about a tablespoon of milk. And this is going to serve as my French toast batter. Going to go ahead and turn the heat on my pan because I want it to start heating up before I add the French toast. This will help it not stick to the pan as much. I'm also going to turn on my pan over here where we're going to start our strawberry sauce. So to this pan, I'm going to add 1 cup of strawberries. These are strawberries that I got earlier in the year when they were beautiful and in season. I chopped them up and froze them, which makes them absolutely perfect for doing something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and add them right into my pan. They're just thawed out. They have a nice bit of liquid around them, which again is just right for what I'm doing. The next thing that I'm going to add into this pan is a 1/2 cup of sugar. And I just put that right on top. I have both of my burners on high heat. And I'm just going to mix this together a little bit. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they make French toast is they have a tendency just to take the bread and dip it on one side and then dip it on the other and throw it into the pan, which is not what you want to do. You actually want to let it soak in that batter for just a few seconds. My pan is getting nice and hot. I'm going to flip my bread over here. It's just about ready. I'm going to reduce my heat on this pan over here to medium-high because I don't want to burn my butter and I don't want to burn my French toast. Now that I have a nice wet piece of bread, I'm just going to pick him up and put him right into there. And we're going to let him start cooking. And I'm going to go back over here to my strawberry sauce, which is already getting nice and hot. You can see some bubbles starting over here on the sides. I'm going to add into this, it's right around a teaspoon of lemon zest. Totally optional, you don't have to do that. Orange zest is also really nice in here, so if you would rather use orange, that's perfectly fine. And you can get pretty creative with this. You could use pomegranate, whatever, like pretty much any citrus is delicious. Even lime is really good with strawberries too. The last thing I'm going to put in here is just about 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Again, totally optional. If you're not a nutmeg person, you don't have to put it in there. It's not that big of a deal. But I really like nutmeg, so in it goes. And we just want to get a really good boil going over here. You have to watch it a little bit. You don't want it to boil over, but you do want it to come to a pretty nice rapid boil. We're just trying to get some of the water to evaporate out of the strawberries, and it's going to combine with the sugar and it's going to turn into a nice syrup. So basically you're making a really nice strawberry syrup. And it's homemade, so you know there's no weird like high fructose corn syrup or anything like that in there, which who wants to eat that every day for breakfast, right? Okay, so my French toast over here, you can see I'm getting pretty little bubbles on the side. And you can also see, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but the egg on the edges here is starting to cook. So that's a good sign that he's just about ready to flip. If you try to flip your French toast prematurely, you're going to end up with it sticking to the pan and tearing. And you see my sauce over here is really starting to boil. I just reduced the heat down to medium-high. And it's perfectly fine again, but you just want to watch it. You don't want it to boil over because you're going to have a big mess if that happens. So this guy is ready to flip. I'm just going to move my pan around a little bit. See how the butter turned that kind of brown color? That's okay, as long as your butter isn't black. We actually call this brown butter, if you were a chef, which is a very delicious type of butter. You use it a lot in French cooking, especially for fish and even for steak. Is really delicious. Beurre noisette is the French name for it. wonderful, delicious stuff. So don't worry about throwing it out. It's just going to add that much more flavor to your French toast. However, if it goes past that brown, I would probably throw it out and start over. So go ahead and flip them over. Ooh, look at that. That is perfect and beautiful. I'm going to turn the heat off over there on my French toast burner because remember, we soaked that bread, so he's pretty wet on the inside still. You want to make sure that you cook it all the way through because after all, it is raw eggs and you don't want to end up with salmonella. So I'm just going to let him sit there on the burner for, I don't know, maybe 20 more seconds. Give him a little shake. Yeah, I think he's just about ready. So, give him one more second there. I'm going to turn off my syrup and I'm going to just check it and see how we're doing as far as the consistency. So, you do not want to touch this. You can't really check for the nappe, which is, you know, where you check the back of the spoon with your finger. In this case, never, never, never stick your finger into boiling syrup because you'll get burnt. But this is definitely done, and I can tell because it's coating the back of my spoon really nicely. So I'm just going to go ahead, take my French toast out, get a nice big spoon of this beautiful strawberry sauce that we just made. Oh yeah, that's how we do it. And right there we have some beautiful French toast with a homemade strawberry sauce. I hope you love it. Happy cooking! If you'd like the rest of the recipe, please visit my website. It's bestbitesforever.com.